we are not rare. But before you leave, you will perceive the lore will be unlocked. You might be stalked by a Sasquatch or a ghost witch, possibly even a ghost that will boast about knowing the Ohio Grassman or even the Michigan Dogman. Werewolves hunt, poltergeists are up front, but in these backwoods folklore is unlocked.
Welcome back to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yep, hello again, everyone.
And this week, we are taking a look at probably the most popular supernatural involved game that I can think of, and Bloody Mary. And it's also known as Hail Mary. I guess a play on Hail Mary, and also known as Mary Worth. And it's an alleged ghost, phantom, spirit, or witch conjured to reveal the future or startle participants. And it's said to appear in a mirror when her name is said repeatedly. It could be benevolent or malevolent, depending on the legend. So it either has good intentions or not so good intentions, and it's mostly witnessed in groups.
I'll say, any of the stories I heard, it was never really a good thing to see her.
Exactly. Pretty much from everything I've heard, it's basically scared the shit out of everybody that's ever played the game, and she appeared.
And the original legend for this, so it encouraged young women to walk up a flight of stairs backwards, holding a candle and a hand mirror in a darkened house. And supposedly, you could catch a glimpse of their future husband, or if they saw a skull or the face of a Grim Reaper, it would mean that they'd die before getting married. Which, I have to say, walking up a flight of stairs backwards in a dark house holding a candle and a mirror sounds like a good way to fall down the stairs and possibly snap your neck.
And start a house fire.
Yeah.
And then the modern day legend where you say her name and she'll appear, kind of like a TNA wrestler Joe Hendry, states that individuals or groups who chant her name into a mirror in a dimly lit or candlelit room. So some versions state 3 times is required for her to show up in the mirror, but the exact numbers vary, depends on the legends. And here we've got a picture that's kind of a mixture of the real life, spoiler alert, real life Bloody Mary, which is Queen Mary the First of England, made kind of spookified to fit the legend.
Yeah, this version right here is the one I heard of like the 3 names in front of like a mirror or something like that. That's what I've always heard.
Same with me. It's for me. I've always heard chanting 3 times into the mirror in a dark or candlelit or dimly lit room. She appears.
And then there is an out of mirror legend, and it states that if a person says her name 47 times, that's quite a few times, she'll come out of the mirror, and she usually appears to be a corpse, a ghost, or possibly a witch. and sometimes she's covered in blood and can be friendly, evil, or even demonic. And lore surrounding this version states that the participants must endure Bloody Mary screaming and or cursing at them, strangling them, stealing their souls, drinking their blood, or even scratching out their eyes.
Yeah, that's more in line to what the modern legend is more than friendliness.
Yeah, this is definitely the more evil or demonic.
Yeah, t- again, I know we've said that we've kind of been banging this point. This is more evil, demonic ghost than guess for the friendly ghost.
I guess if you look at the friendly aspect, the only thing that we've saw so far that could be friendly is, oh, you might be able to see your future husband, you know? That's about all. I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, nothing in the modern sense.
No.
And kind of like I mentioned earlier, there is some historical basis for the legend of Bloody Mary. And like I said, Queen Mary the First of England actually did earn the nickname Bloody Mary by having 300 Protestant dissidents burned at the stake. And during that time, it was very much Catholic versus Protestant, and it didn't really turn out very good for anybody. And another inspiration for, or at least possible inspiration, we've mentioned her in our vampire episode. Go watch that episode if you haven't after finishing this episode. And that's Elizabeth Bathory, who was a 17th century Hungarian countess who allegedly tortured and killed close to 660 girls and women, bathed in their blood, and was accused of, you guessed it, vampirism. And to bring it back to the beginning, also for the name Mary Worth, she was apparently a woman who either A, killed escaped slaves on the Underground Railroad, or a woman burned at the stake during the witch trials.
So yeah, I guess pick your
So
poison kind of thing. All of these people could possibly, yeah,
be not so good people.
yeah. Then there are some related games or legends to the kind of follows the Bloody Mary kind of thing. We have Hanako-san from Japan, the Candyman from Candyman franchise, and then also Midnight Man summoned in after saying his name repeatedly. I have not heard of Midnight Man. I've heard of Candyman and Hanako-san, but
Yeah, I was just looking up related games and just found the Midnight Man.
interesting name.
Yeah,
Is that a picture of him there,
and
or?
yeah, an AI generated one. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know how accurate to actual depictions it is.
Okay.
And in pop culture, Supernatural's done an episode. The X Files has done an episode. Both South Park and the regular show makes fun of the legend. And like we mentioned, Candyman does it. The Candyman franchise does its own take on the whole Bloody Mary game.
So I'm sure there's plenty more references and stuff, but this is a good amount.
Exactly. And on our thoughts, as a historical figure, of course, Bloody Mary does actually exist with Queen Mary the First of England. But as to the game, that involves the friendly ghost slash evil witch slash demonic entity. I don't think it actually exists, but does provide great scenes for teen horror movies and books.
Yeah, I agree with Austin. I don't think Bloody Mary, as in ghost slash witch slash demon, actually exists. But as a kid, it did scare the crap out of me quite a bit. Because having an older sister, and she kind of liked to mess with me quite a bit, there was at least one time I was locked in the bathroom and made to do this just to make her have some fun.
Yeah, this is a good way to give like a younger sibling the heebie-jeebies or something.
And that's the thing about my experience with it. When she locked me in the bathroom, I very well could have turned back on the lights, but I was freaking out at the time and did not even think about it. So I could have easily just turned back on the lights and just like opened the door. But
again, the heebie-jeebies can make cowards out of the best of us. And I think that's all we've got for this week. Next week, we'll be taking a look at the legends and true stories from the Pocomoke Forest in Maryland. So join us next week for that. And any last words, Ethan?
thanks for watching, everyone.
Well, thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, drop us a comment, like, and subscribe. And if you're on Spotify, thanks for listening. Drop us a follow and comment, and we'll see you next week.
You might wake up beside Spearfinger with an extended visit from Jack the Ripper. But if you're lucky, it'll be an angel on that range hill of Louisiana. You might meet Mary Laveau or the Road. At Folklore Unlocked, Austin and Ethan concoct their theory of the eerie and unexplained around the world, sometimes even the underworld. The lore is locked behind secrets, the folklore is meant to be unlocked. The Sokoloo is haunting NC as well as Tennessee. There are many giants that might be clients of the Dark Watchers, who might have psychokinesis. And the phantom time hypothesis is like the phoenix, coming back around again and again. The laser strain on your brain if you've got more than 2 brain cells in you. Some believe McCartney is dead because they read into the Mandela effect, which is subject to folklore.